If you're looking for a Miami remodeler right now, you've probably noticed something strange happening in your search results. Every contractor's website looks the same. Everyone promises quality, promises experience, promises to treat your home like their own. And none of that tells you anything about whether the person behind that website can actually run your project from a first site visit to a final inspection without it falling apart in the middle. Here's what actually separates one Miami remodeler from another. It's not the photos on the website. It's not the promises in the About page. It's the license. What it legally allows them to do. And the process they run behind it face by face on every single project, regardless of whether it's a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, or a structural wall coming out. In this video I'm going to walk you through exactly what a Miami remodeler is legally allowed to do under Florida law, the 6-phase process a properly licensed general contractor runs on every remodel, and the 3 things you should verify before you sign with anyone, including us. By the end of this you'll know more about how remodeling actually works in this market than most homeowners find out until they're already 3 weeks into a project. I'm Gaben Constructions. We're a Florida certified general contractor. License GCG 1524886, verifiable at myfloridalicense.com. Over 500 projects since 2015. 37 plus verified permits on the Public Build Zone record. 5.0 stars across 60 plus Google reviews. We work across Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Let's get into what actually matters. Most homeowners assume every contractor with a truck and a website is basically the same. They are not. And the difference is written directly into Florida law. Under Chapter 489 of the Florida Statutes, a certified general contractor's scope is, and I'm quoting the statute here, unlimited as to the type of work. That is the license class that can take on a whole home good renovation or a structural addition. Anything. A building contractor by comparison is capped at 3 stories. A residential contractor is capped at 2. Those are real legal ceilings on what each license is allowed to touch. That distinction is what actually separates a Miami remodeler who can run the whole job from one who can. A general contractor is responsible for the structural work and pays the permit. The electrical, mechanical, and plumbing trades run in-house or get subcontracted under that same license instead of being hired out as 3 or 4 separate uncoordinated contracts that nobody is legally responsible for tying together. And this shows up at the permit counter, not just on paper. In Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, the building official is required to confirm the contractor is certified before a permit gets issued. That is exactly why an unlicensed handyman cannot legally pull a permit for a remodel of any real size. The county checks the license before the paperwork exists. Gaben holds the certified general contractor license. Verify it yourself before you sign with anyone. Urs or Teirs. It's public information at myfloridalicense.com. Here's the practical difference that license makes on your actual project. When you hire separate trades directly, a plumber here, an electrician there, a tile guy you found on a recommendation, nobody legally owns the coordination between them. Nobody is responsible when the electrician's roughing conflicts with where the plumber already ran a line. You become the general contractor by default whether you wanted that job or not. Under Chapter 489113, a general contractor is responsible for the structural components and either runs electrical, mechanical, and plumbing in-house or subcontracts them under the license. That means wanting one point of accountability and one schedule instead of you personally coordinating 4 separate contracts and hoping they land in the right order. On a multi-room remodel, say a kitchen, 2 bathrooms, and a structural wall all moving at 11, that coordination is not a nice to have. It's the entire difference between a project that stays on schedule and one that stalls out because 3 trades are waiting on each other and nobody's actually managing the sequence. So what does that coordination actually look like in practice? Every project we run follows the same 6 phases in the same order carried by one licensed team from the first site visit to the final inspection. Phase 1 is discovery. A free site visit, no trip fee. We walk the scope, pull the properties, permit history and flood zone determination and name anything that's going to move the budget before a proposal even exists. A load bearing wall and undersized electrical panel, a slab that needs leveling. Phase 2 is design and scope. Drawings, allowances, a fixed scope. You see the full number with honest variance bands. Not a starting from price that climbs by the third chance order. Phase 3 is permitting. We pull the permit under our license. And as I mentioned in Miami-Dade, Broward and Palm Beach County, the building official verifies the contractor's certification before that permit issues. So the license and the permit are tied together from day one. Phase 4 is demolition and road trades. Demo, framing and structural work first. Electrical, mechanical and plumbing run in-house or under our license sequenced so the road inspections land in the correct order. Not backwards, which is how projects lose weeks to file the inspections. Phase 5 is finishes and installation. Cabinetry, stone, tile, flooring, fixtures. This is the phase where a coastal remodel's schedule is actually won or lost. And it's the phase you're going to live in every day once it's done. Phase 6 is punch and close out. Final inspection, certificate of occupancy or close out and agree item 1 to 2 year labor warranty. One walk through, one punch list, one team accountable for the result. Not 3 separate trades pointing at each other if something's wrong. I want to be direct about something because this is genuinely the most useful part of this video. Before you sign with any Miami remodeler as included, run 3 checks. They take about 15 minutes and they'll tell you more than any sales speech will. 1. Verify the license at myfloridalicense.com. Type in the license number. Confirm it's active and has no disciplinary actions. If a contractor can't give you a license number on request, that conversation is over. 2. Pull the permit history on BuildZoom. Permits are public record. A contractor was actually been doing this for years in Miami that should have a visible permit history. We have 37 plus verified permits sitting on that public record right now. If someone doesn't ask why. 3. Read the actual review text. Not just the star rating. Specific reviews that name real neighborhoods and real project types are a very different signal than a wall of 5-star ratings with no detail behind any of them. Being a Miami remodeler isn't about the photos on a website. It's a legal designation. A certified general contractor license that's unlimited in scope, tied to a 6-phase process that runs the same way on every project, verified at the permit counter before work ever starts and closed out with a item warranty when it's done. That's the difference between a remodel that stays on schedule and on budget and one that becomes 5 separate contracts you're personally trying to hold together. At Gaben Constructions we run every project this way. Discovery, design, permitting, road trades, finishes, close out. Free quote, no trip fee, same day appointment scheduling. The number is 786-397-8380. The link is below. Florida Certified General Contractor. License GCG 1524886. 500 plus projects since 2015. We'll see you on the next one.